Hello, everyone. Welcome to the another episode of the She Power Talk Show, and I'm happy that today we have Dr. Yatri Thacker with us, and I'm so delighted that she agreed to come to our show. Welcome, Dr. Yatri.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ruchita. Thanks for giving me this
Yeah,
platform.
yeah, that's really great that you have taken out such a time from your busy schedule and you have come here. So before I'll start shooting the question, let me give a little bit of introduction about yourself, about you. Dr.
Mhm.
Yatri is an accomplished homeopathic physician, stress counselor, pregnancy to parenting expert. From past 17 years, she's practicing in Mumbai, and I'm delighted to know that she's a founder of Baby and Me program and Homeopathic Healing Center. I mean, how can you do so many things together, Yatri? And I'm surprised that she is writing articles in such a noted magazines like FEMINA, Bombay Times, Mothers and Baby magazines. And recently we have featured her as a entrepreneur of the year in our own She Power Network magazine,
Thank you.
and she has been a panelist with Mother and Baby magazines and Moms Award and so many things. I mean, you have so many feathers in your hat here, three.
Thank you so much, Ruchita. Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, and the best part of Dr. Yatri is that she conducts free medical camp with Times Foundation. That's really awesome. So,
Mhm.
first of all, before I can keep on talking about Dr. Yatri. She has so many achievements. But before one thing I want to ask Yatri, how? I mean, how can you become such a superpower, super woman of doctor, having a life of a doctor, then having a family, and then doing so many things? How can you do so many things at a time?
The secret is if you do something that you really like, then it
Mm-hmm.
comes easily to you. So I love, it gives me a kick, or it's the best day of my life when a patient comes and says, Doctor, wow, what have you done? You've completely treated me. So that keeps
Oh,
me going.
I must say, all the doctors they are having a very noble professions, compared to our
Yes,
professions. Your profession is very noble,
true.
you have a 24 hours job, like, we can shut down, we can offline, but not you. So that's it. So today's topic is stress,
Mhm.
stress
Yeah.
management, anxiety, and other things. So I would like to first understand what is stress, because, nowadays it has become a taboo kind of thing. Everybody, I'm stressed out if baby is not sleeping, I'm stressed out if I'm not meeting the deadline, I'm stressed out. So I want
True.
to understand that what is the exact stress means in the medical terms, like where we should go for a doctor, for the consultant.
True. So, stress is basically a reaction that a
Hmm.
person gives to any kind of response. So, I'll give you an
Okay.
example. So, any kind of stressors, like say yesterday it was flooded in Mumbai, it's a stressor. You can't
Uh-huh.
do anything about it. But how you react to it is called
Mm-hmm.
stress. Um,
Okay.
yes. So there are stressors which
Mm-hmm.
causes stress. And stress is basically a broad terminology used
Okay.
for any kind of reaction that your body gives. It could be physical, mental, emotional, anything.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you mean to say that stress can be anything, but what is the threshold where a person need to understand that I need to visit a doctor?
Yes. So basically, people think stress is a very negative word. And minute you feel something different in your body or mind, then you immediately run. But actually, there is a way to note and understand whether you should take medical help or any expert help, or even further, like take medication.
Mm-hmm.
I always say stress is good in a way. So
Okay.
kids, they feel a little stressed before exams and therefore study and therefore
Mhm.
want to perform. Say even before performing on the stage, you have this kind of anxiety or butterfly in your stomach, which is actually stress, and that makes you perform better. Um,
True.
so so stress is in a way good,
Mm-hmm.
but when you cannot cope with it, it
Mm-hmm.
causes a negative reaction and causes symptoms to you.
Okay.
Okay.
And what kind of symptoms, Dr. Yatri, that we should be alert that, now we need a medical help? Or it's sometimes, like, as you said, that sometimes
Sure.
the stress is because we tend to perform better because, when you
Yes.
are in a stress at that time, you do that.
Yes.
What about, what about like having a stress symptoms that we need to get a alert that no, this is not a normal thing and we need
Hmm.
to go for a doctor help?
Yes. So, you'll be surprised. 80% of patients going to a general practitioner
Mm-hmm.
actually suffer from some kind of stress, due to which they
Mm-hmm.
get physical symptoms, which is called psychosomatic disorders. Psychosomatic basically means any kind of physical symptoms you have due to stress or due to
Okay.
mental strain.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the kind of amount of patients who suffer from stress and diseases due to that. Okay.
Okay.
Now, so if you ask me symptom wise, symptomatically you might feel restless, you will perspire, maybe the heartbeat will go higher.
Oh,
Sometimes some people feel low, absolutely low, and don't know what to do about it. Some patients, they don't come with any kind of physical or mental symptoms, but immediately end up having sudden hypertension,
okay.
or diabetes. And when I say psychosomatic disorders, so some kind of skin complaints. So that's how it happens. So let me give an example. When you keep a pressure cooker to heat,
Mm-hmm.
and as long as the steam is venting out of it,
Mm-hmm.
yes,
It
the
keep
thing that you put in
whispering.
the pressure cooker, it cooks,
Uh-huh.
right? But as long as immediately if any of the steam stops venting out and you
Mm-hmm.
can't take the heat, what will happen? The pressure cooker burst open.
That's true.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
So that
Mm-hmm.
exactly happens to us. You are heating up. That's the kind of stress in your life. As long as
Okay.
you can take it, you can heat it well. You are venting the
Mm-hmm.
steam out, venting the steam out in the ways of maybe talking to people, or
Mm-hmm.
if you're managing your stress well, which we'll talk soon about it, then that steam is vented time to
Mm-hmm.
time, and the
Mm-hmm.
food is cooked well.
Oh, so
Okay.
you need
So we
to
cannot get
understand that.
away from
Yeah.
stress. We can't get away from the heat. We all are
Mm-hmm.
going through stress day in and day out. It's
Mm-hmm.
how do you manage it? How do you know what's happening to your body and mind to
Mm-hmm.
prevent further diseases? That's what stress is all about.
Okay, okay. So, the next question that is very obvious to ask is how we will manage it. Like, we know that sometimes, especially for women, I'm talking about, and the kids, like, kids, they have a stress for the exams and other things. And we as a
Yes.
women have a stressful life starting from the morning when we get up till we sleep. We have, if we are a homemaker, then obviously taking care of the kids and the husband and the home. And if we are working also, then the
Hmm.
deadlines and the other things, plus taking care of the other things, because as a man, what happens that they get escape with the household chores sometimes, but as
Hmm.
a woman we have to take care of everything plus our work. So how do
Hmm.
we manage the stress, or every time do we need to go to the doctor, or how we do that?
Yes, that's a very good question. So the first thing is, be aware or know that you are stressed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what I mean to say that is, for example, know what your stressors are and be aware of it. Okay, so some
Okay.
people get very irritated with a lot of noise, so that's noise is a stressor. Okay,
Okay.
some people have, they immediately, if they hear a bad news, they start palpitating and they think, okay, we can't
Mm-hmm.
cope up, and they want to just leave everything and just want to run away. So the bad
Mm-hmm.
news is a stressor. Okay,
Okay.
so there could be some kind of acute stressors. Acute means something happening in suddenly in the family, which you can't get away with. And there are some
Mm-hmm.
stressors which are chronic, for example, relationship issues, somebody
Mm-hmm.
having financial crisis. For students it could be anxiety, pressure, peer pressure. So know your stressors. First thing is understand or try to find out where and what can you do about the stressors and which are your stressors. Now, how do you do that? Is
Mhm.
when you feel these physical symptoms that I gave you, so it could be any kind of skin complaints, it could be suddenly migraine headaches, it could be diarrhea from listening to bad news, or hypertension, or hormonal issues like PCOD, infertility. So you know you're having some kind of
Even high
disease.
BP can be a stressful.
Yes. So again, to give an example which you can relate to, if you're suffering from hypertension, high BP, and if your
Mhm.
personality is that of being irritable and you get angry, your blood
Mhm.
pressure shoots up. Minute you
Okay.
calm down, you
Yeah.
become quiet, and
Mhm.
you know how to manage your stress, then your
Mhm.
blood pressure comes down. Yes.
Oh,
So the
that's
trigger
nice.
here, the trigger here
Mhm.
is knowing when I get irritated, angry, my blood pressure
Mhm.
goes up. Now, going again one step backward, once you are being aware that my stressor is angry or being angry or anger, you take a step back and you think what has caused that anger in you.
Okay.
Okay,
So
now,
any remedy, I would say any remedy of like, of having a stress. See, everyone has a stress in their life, whether it's a financial, whether it's a work pressure, or relationship issues, whether with the husband or in-laws, or with the packets, So we have all kind of stress. So
correct.
any practical tips which you want to give us
Yes.
for managing?
So yes, yes. Number one, I would say give time to yourself. You are
Mm-hmm.
a homemaker, you have lots of responsibility. If you're a man, you're running the house, stress of home and at work. But if you give time to yourself, you will know and understand where these stresses are coming from, how
Okay.
you can deal with it. So now, how do you give time to yourself? Say if you are a very social person and day in day out you're meeting a lot of people, you want space for yourself, you can go for regular walks where you give time to yourself and start listening to what your thoughts are. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, and if you're a homemaker again and you're so busy fulfilling everybody's demand, your mother-in-laws, your kids, your own, own work schedule, and
Mhm.
if you give that 45 minutes to 1 hour for yourself and start giving importance to yourself, start loving yourself, it naturally your body will start forming or making such hormones that you will start shedding more love to people. You will feel and give more importance to others. So it's literally this law of attraction.
So you mean to
More you
say
like
have
yourself,
a little bit of more me time,
yes, give time to yourself. Give time to
at least
yourself
half an hour a day or something.
at least half an hour to 45 minutes. And giving time to yourself, you can do in various ways. Either you can go out for walks, or you can inculcate a hobby that you've left for years. I know
Mm-hmm.
people tell me, ma'am, we don't get time at all, and what do we do about it? But minute you start giving importance of that half an hour, 45 minutes to yourself, and start developing what and start hearing to what your mind and body is saying, you see the difference. You'll be able to deal with your stress, you'll be able to feel a little lighter and better to yourself, and feel that importance is given to yourself. 99% of the time, the homemakers are the people going through stress like saying feeling insecure or feeling depressed, they just don't give
Yeah.
time to yourself. So first is give time to yourself. Number two is being aware of what they are doing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Number three is dealing and knowing how do we cope with these stress. Okay, so now let me give an example for that. So in this family, the father expired and they had like four children. Father had four
Oh.
children. All four of them obviously felt like a shock that my father is dead. So the
Mm-hmm.
stressor was death of father. But each individual,
Mm-hmm.
all four of them reacted in a different way. The first one
Mm-hmm.
thought to himself, okay, I'm the eldest in the family. Let me take the responsibility. Let me just,
Mm-hmm.
you know, move ahead rather than sitting and moaning.
Mm-hmm.
The second
So
one,
it totally depend upon the dealing of stress with the individual person, right?
correct, correct.
Okay.
So every person will react to a stressor in a different way, and it depends on how you react to it. Those
Mm-hmm.
things causes more problems to you.
Okay, got it. We have started getting the question because I was just seeing the
Sure,
mobile because I was started getting the question.
sure.
Deepa is asking us, I would like to know how to deal stress that comes up in the moment in the day, like uncooperative staff, delay, dealing to schedule, going off balance, getting stressed for reaching late, stress when you misplace the things, stress, etc. I mean, day-to-day stress she's talking about.
So, hi Deepak, thanks for asking me this question. The first thing that I would suggest you is prioritize. So, minute you reach the office or 5 minutes before reaching the office, you keep all the workload behind you and say, okay, I'm going to sit and focus only for today's this moment's issue. Take you another 5 minutes and sit down and pen down, prioritize what is most important. So, the first one could be because I feel you're trying to deal with a lot of things at a time, and then when you're trying to deal with a lot of things at a time, you can't just cope with it. So say for example, prioritizing, what I meant is this is the first thing I need to do. Maybe speak to a client, or maybe speak to your subordinate if there is an issue. Once you will prioritize, you know that what time you have to give more to which what person.
Mhm.
So that
So I
itself will reduce half of your stress by
mhm,
prioritizing. Number two, at workplace, what happens is I think more stress comes is because you want to prove yourself all the time. Yes, and
true.
yes, so sit down again and pen down the things that you're good at, pen down the
Mhm,
things that you're weak at. Let me give an example. Maybe you're great in marketing, but maybe you might not be good in accounting or talking to the people below you, your staff, to
mhm.
get the work done. Now, if you know you're good in marketing, yes, focus more on that because that's where your numbers will show. Now if you know
Uh-huh.
your weakness is that you cannot give away more work to your
Manage
uh,
the
manage your
yeah,
work, or
stuff.
yeah, or yes, or give more work to the staff below
Mhm,
you, or you can't coordinate or talk to them. Find a
mhm.
mid person who can communicate with them, so that it's all about talking to yourself and knowing and being aware that these are my positive points, these are my negative points, what do I do about it? And I'm sure you will do well, but there might be some time when you just get stuck, that now what do I do? Then take an expert's help. That's where an expert will come into, like a counselor, or people who do, like I do online consultation. And if you think these kind of stresses you can't cope and you start having physical symptoms, that's exactly where homeopathy works very well. So
Oh, so homeopathy will it help in reducing the stress?
it helps in reducing the chemical imbalances which takes due to stress and the physical symptoms that a person comes across due to stress. So say when you're feeling happy, you feel this
Mm-hmm,
lightness, right? Because there is a chemical
mm-hmm.
which is secreted which makes you happy. And when you're feeling sad, you just somehow just don't get out of the same thought. So that's another
Okay,
chemical which is secreted. So homeopathy will help you make feel better, feel lighter, improve your immunity, at the same time take care of the diseases that is caused due to stress. So I work in this exactly this way. I work in this trio of counseling,
okay.
homeopathy, and dealing with subconscious mind.
Oh, that's great. So, like, one of the question that is coming up from Anshika, she's saying that
Yes,
I'm a work from home person. I
yes.
have multiple things to handle. It
Mhm.
becomes quite stressful
Yes.
managing both work and home. How can I balance well and reduce my stress? And is there anything homeopathy can help me?
Sure. Hi, Anshika. So my tip to you is start delegating more work to others. So when, especially at home, and I think hats off to all the homemakers, it's not an easy job, managing home, fulfilling everybody's demands, the children, and then finally giving some little time to yourself. So take as much support as you can. Could be from in-laws, could be mom, could be supporters. Build a support system to
Mhm.
get the work being sorted. That's one. Number two, um, again, try and prioritize, and understand the time management is important for a homemaker, I always feel. And try to bring little ease and communicate more clearly to the family. So for example, if you're cooking 4 meals a day and looking after children and cleaning the house, so try and communicate. I can cook maybe just 2 meals a day. Can you all try and take more and more help? When I say support, also take help from children. They can be big supporters of ours. So say if you're making a sandwich, ask your children to make their sandwich on your own. You chop things, delegate work, and at the same time prioritize, communicate well, so that everybody understands what you're going through rather than just suppressing what you're going through. So that's my
Okay.
tip for you. Other
Mhm.
thing I suggest, there are these few stress busters, which I call, which makes you feel very good. So one is the exercise. Again, when you exercise, you sweat out. There are these hormones which are secreted, which makes you feel lighter and better. So exercising 45 minutes to 1 hour every day makes you feel happier. It's a known, the research, a lot of research is done in that. It's a known fact.
Mhm.
Second stress buster is tulsi, mint, and ginger. There are these
Oh,
beautiful natural products. They are stress busters. So my tip to you is, say you take a 2-liter bottle of water and put a stem of mint and tulsi and little ginger slices and keep on drinking that water. It's great for
sure.
immunity. It's great for making you feel better. Homeopathy wise, as I said, every individual reacts to a certain situation, same situation, different ways. So usually for complete cure, we need to take case history, which lasts about half an hour, and depending on your personality, we give medication. But at the
Mhm.
same time, there is this Bach flower remedy. There are these natural flower remedies, which you can put in drops of water and have. So for you, I would suggest take rescue remedy, about 5 drops in half cup of water. Have it twice in a day, and you will feel better for that.
Oh, so will it really works with that, Yatri?
Yes, it does. Yes.
Oh, that's
So
great.
yes.
One more question that is coming is, we will keep on continuing, but there are so many questions which are keep on coming. So I'm just want to take that, and then we will discuss more about the
Okay.
homeopathy. What are the simple techniques to get rid of the stress which are daily stress? Like, that's what the even Deepa also asked, and the Anshik also. Like, most of the audience is asking us that how can we cope up with the daily stress that keep the kids gives us, the in-laws gives us, the husband gives us, financial stress and other things are there, but what we can do with the the daily stress.
Yes. Um, yes. So there are few 10 practical tips that I want to share. One, as I just mentioned, exercise, workout in any form. Could be playing a sport, could be swimming, could be walking. If you think you're a homemaker and you want to socialize, that's the best way. Just go out for walks, make few friends, talk to them. You'll feel better. Number two, just steam out or vent out your stress. And that means that keep a friend or any relative whom you can sit and share what your inner feelings and emotions are. In
Okay.
that way, in that way, you know that there is somebody who's there with you and ready to listen. So vent
Mhm.
out rather than suppressing what you're going through. Find a person
Okay.
that way. That's number two. Number three, out of the daily stress, like say we would have about say 20-30 stressors in our life. Right from the time we wake up, the kids are there. Know what bothers you the most.
Okay.
This is most, like say, maybe that person would be most bothered if somebody is backbiting them. Okay.
True.
Because it's their personality, which, so they would say, okay, I can help my in-laws, I can do all work of my children, my husband, everybody, but minute I do so much for them, minute I turn around, they'll sit and backbite me.
So that
Yes,
may
and
be
that
a
itself could be a
psychology.
stressor.
That may
So
be a psychology, not a reality.
if it bothers you, it is your reality.
Okay.
Okay, so know what
Okay.
is your stressor, not anybody else. And that's
True.
another mistake a lot of us do. We try and compare. That was my fourth tip. Let's not compare each other. What
Mm-hmm.
I have is what I have. And we
Mm-hmm.
all have our weaknesses, we all have our positiveness. And try and focus more on positive things that we have. So
Mm-hmm.
say I could be good in talking, but maybe I won't be good looking, or maybe I wouldn't be slim and trim. So we try and expect too much for ourselves from ourselves by comparing.
Okay.
Okay, so stop
Mm-hmm.
comparing and start accepting. This is what I am. This is how my children are. Yes, they are short tempered. Yes, I am short tempered. Or yes, I'm beautiful. And I'm okay to be fat. I'm okay to be the way I am. Stop
Okay.
comparing
So
and start
self
accepting.
acceptance. Self
Yes.
acceptance is important.
Yes, like say again, I can give you example, one more, a practical example. So say a person has to keep on, maybe has a husband has a relationship issue, and
Mm-hmm.
once she's decided, yes, I want to carry on my life with this person for my children, and the husband is good in everything except he is short tempered. Till you
Mm-hmm.
don't accept that fact, the trigger itself is always the husband starts with short temperedness and I react back, and we have lots of relationship issues.
Okay.
Okay, so stop comparing, because they might be comparing subconsciously or consciously with their friends, sisters, mothers, people giving different gyans. So accept, yes, this is where the problem is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and stop comparing.
Okay, like why my husband is doing this, my friend's husband is not doing. So they may
Because
be
we
having some
can't
problem.
have it
Yeah.
all. We can't have it
Yeah.
all. We can't. And then one,
True.
you have to in fact teach children that way. If you're having like a Fiat and some your friend is having a Merc, except this is what we have. It doesn't mean you stop there. You can't, because the way to improve, people ask me, doc, if we don't compare, if we are not jealous, if we accept ourselves, how we can improve?
Mm-hmm.
Then improve yourself each time, compete yourself each time, rather than somebody else.
Become a
That
best
itself will
version of
remove your
yourself.
stress. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. So, I would also like to go into the homeopathic before I'll take few more questions because I've already got around 8 questions. So before that, I want to check with you because I have got a little bit more interest about the homeopathic, like how you treat these kind of stress issues with the homeopathic, and are you available for the online consultation also?
Yes. Um, I am available online consultation. In fact, I have few patients abroad too, and few places out of Mumbai too. And this is what I do is online consultation where the counseling takes place.
Mm-hmm.
Number two is the homeopathy, so I courier the medication. And number three is dealing with the subconscious mind. When I say subconscious mind, is over the life, if you see your own life right from childhood till whatever age you are, we have certain same patterns that we go on rinsing about. Okay, so I
Okay.
can like I had this person, he was the CEO of some company, I don't want to name it, and he comes to me and he says, doc, my whole career has been that way. It's literally like a peak. I joining, everybody right from chairman to everybody appreciates me, I'm appreciated, and suddenly I don't know what happens, and then there's always an issue and I have to quit. What do I do about it?
Oh,
And with that
okay.
he had some kind of skin complaints, and I just knew it, that these are stress related. Now, as I said, stress is a broad term, so this
Mm,
person actually suffered from anxiety, and
okay.
and, and there was something in a subconscious mind that he would just want to prove, out of proving himself that I am the best, I'm the best, he would lose out on everything. So, dealing
Okay.
with this beautiful trio of counseling, where we
Mm-hmm.
understand a person for, we talk
Mm-hmm.
about 45 minutes, half an hour to 45 minutes, help them to
Mm-hmm.
come out of the blockages which they have created over the time, and homeopathy helps them to feel physically, mentally, and immunity feel wise better. They come out of the issues. Now, to name a few, now when people ask me, what about where does homeopathy help? As I mentioned before, is your body starts speaking when your mind is suppressed, or your mind will start speaking when you're not feeling good about it and you can't manage it.
Mm-hmm.
Like
That's when the things starts coming.
that's
I
when
would
and
also
that's when you
like,
want to know that you need to take an expert help.
hmm, no, even for the anger management, there are many people who are having an anger management issue, and I will also like to go into the anxiety management.
Yes.
What is, first of all, I will like to know what is the difference between a stress and an anxiety,
Hmm.
or is it the same symptom kind of thing?
Can you just ask your question again? It wasn't clear. Sorry.
I'm asking that what is the difference between a stress and anxiety, or anxiety is the symptoms of a stress?
That's a good question. Now, anxiety means something that when a person says, "Ab kya hoga?" What will happen? What will
Mm-hmm.
happen? What will happen?
Uncertainty of
And they
future.
start predicting this in their mind before the actual situation actually comes up. So that's anxiety.
Mhm.
It could
Okay.
be a person just having a low grade fever. The person has
Okay.
low grade fever, and the person will say, "Oh, I think I'm going to die." That's anxiety.
Oh.
What will happen to me? I'll be physically sick. What will happen? What will happen to my children even if they are 10 minutes late? You see, you yourself are creating that stress at that moment. Maybe the child is, having real some issues or not. And then you start developing things in your mind that which are not true or which are not real
Okay.
for you. So anxiety
Okay.
is what will happen, what will happen, what will happen. Something will happen to me. Whereas stress is something which is like a broader. So right from depression, anxiety, sadness, a physical symptom, everything comes under the banner of stress.
Okay. So yeah, it's a mixed baggage, you would say.
Stress is when you just can't cope with a situation coming in front of you. Whereas
Mm-hmm.
anxiety is, with anxiety, you can have other symptoms like palpitation. People get panic disorder, thinking of an X situation which they have experienced, and they might just feel, okay, I'm going to die. They start perspiring, having high blood pressure, tremors, and sweating.
Okay. So one more thing, Yatri, I have got few questions from the Instagram as well as from the Facebook. So I'm just taking it few questions. Number one is Svetrichi Bhardwaj. She's asking anything on anger management. I'm struggling with it.
Hmm. Yes. Okay. Um, so my tips to you are, the first one is, when you get angry, what happens to
Mm-hmm.
you? So there could be levels of anger. Okay. When you get
Okay.
angry, either you just shout, either you abuse. There is a level where you pick up things and just throw. There could be short temperedness, there could be hot temperedness.
Mm-hmm.
So first is know what kind of anger you are having. Is it just irritation
Okay.
and you're naming it anger?
Mm-hmm.
There are these people, and 80% of the time, people suffering from anger is because they want things to happen just their way.
Okay.
Okay, a small
Mm-hmm.
example. If you want something to be kept neat and clean, and by your mate doesn't clean it properly, you'll get angry and snap back. For example, so
Mm-hmm.
that's when what she wanted, it didn't happen. Other bigger example I can give you, when you're working in the office and the targets are not met. It's what you have
Mm-hmm.
expected in your mind, and you're not getting it, and you get angry.
Okay.
So if you feel that you want to change things the way you want it to be, uh, and you see the consequence. So when you get angry and
Mm-hmm.
when you calm down, you write down when you started with what was the situation, and after you got angry, what was the situation. Again, 90%
What
of the
is
time
the
people haven't
situation?
changed. It in fact becomes bad to worse
Mhm.
than what you started.
Regarding the anger management, only one question more is coming. I think anger management has become a very popular topic here.
Yes, yes,
So, Malti Krishnan is asking, I try not to show my anger many times and I end up crying at the end of the day.
yes, yes. So the
So,
other way of showing anger, if you do not express it, is keep a book with yourself. Like I call it a confidential book.
mm-hmm,
Literally a confidential, not even anybody like your spouse, children, nobody would know it. And start
mm-hmm,
penning down what you're feeling throughout the day. It could be, even if you feel like abusing somebody, you can pen down. If you've helped somebody, you can pen down. Whatever your thoughts and feelings at that moment when you're feeling it.
mm-hmm.
When you're feeling it. Sorry, it's slipped off.
No
So,
problem. Just put the camera a bit more.
is it
Eh,
okay?
yeah,
Okay, I think it's okay.
yeah, now it's fine.
Yeah. So pen down the moment you are angry. Just go in a
Mm-hmm.
room, your own space, lock it down, and pen down. Even if you feel like tearing that page and throwing it away, great.
Mm-hmm.
So there
Okay.
is a way to remove anger on something which would not create issues for you.
Okay. So
And it's a
instead
way
of
of venting
venting
out your
out to
problems.
someone else, you're saying that instead of venting out to someone else, better you pen down all the things you want to say to someone.
Yes, and yet if there are triggers, there are these irritating people who know your weakness and to press that button in you, and then you react back and you know. So
Mm-hmm.
take 10 breaths in and 10 breaths
Okay.
out, and then you start
I have
speaking.
one more question from Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
She is saying that my husband is having a very short-tempered issues, and whenever we talk, if I'm not saying up to his opinion, he normally start abusing me and start shouting at me. What can I do?
Well, my advice to you is it is up to you how you react to it, and if you have decided to
Mhm.
be a victim or victimizer, you can decide.
So
So yes,
any advice for her?
send your husband to do yoga and meditation.
Uh-huh.
Again, yoga and
Okay.
meditation really calms your mind,
Okay.
especially the Sudarshan Kriya that Sri Ravi Shankar and group teaches.
Mhm.
I would strongly advise. I myself have experienced the levels of meditation that they take to, but any meditation where you control, they teach you to control your breath. They teach
Okay.
you not to control your mind, but while controlling your breath, your mind gets control on its own. So somehow
Mhm.
just console or your husband and send him for a yoga class. That's number one. Number two, if you're being a victim at that time, that means if you do not react when your husband is continuously abusing you, you
Mhm.
are making an habit for him to make you a victim. It's exactly
So
like
more like
this.
a domestic violence.
When your child you stop breastfeeding your child and you want to put your child on outside food, what do?
Mhm.
You have persistence and perseverance and you keep on trying the same food 10 times till the child
Mhm.
gets it. Or do you just leave
True.
the situation? Do you just keep your
No,
child on
obviously.
just milk? No. So again, you have to know what you want to do for yourself. If you keep non-reacting to what your husband says, then he will get in he's you're making it an habit for him. Now how to break this habit? um, After he calms down, maybe you can communicate through text, mail, in whatever ways, with your lower down tone, and your
Mhm.
nonverbals, that you do not like this and you will not take this.
Mhm.
If he has a certain reason, like a valid reason, maybe you both can work towards it to make it better. And finally, I would say, I started with, when you asked the first question about anger management, I did say that the people usually get angry when they want things to happen exactly their way. That triggers. So
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 it's more
imagine
like
if,
a dominance.
sorry.
It's more like a dominance.
Yes, then therefore use the word victim and victimizer.
Yes, because the things what happens even in during the relationship, like
Yes.
it's we get the issues because one person dominate wants to dominate the other, and that's when the things start and the stress start and the anger start. And am I right? So I mean, how to balance that? Because and we keep on getting such queries also that like about the relationship issues, whether it's the in-laws or with the husband. So as a woman, I mean, is there any tip which you will give to make it a little bit more a better one,
Yes,
better
for a good
situation?
relationship, be it with your spouse, be it with your mother in law, be it with children, a relationship only flourishes if both the individuals um, build a relationship without changing each other and accepting the way
Okay.
they are. Only then it becomes a fruitful relationship. Otherwise, one is surely a dominating person, a giver, and one is a taker.
Okay.
Okay, so
So
balance out.
before
Like,
I go, I have
yes.
one more question. The questions I keep on pouring. So one question is, I plan my day well in advance. Also, I decide to myself that I will not get irritated once I am back from work. But somehow, one small thing and I start getting irritated. Maybe I get too overwhelmed with what is yet to be done at home, not sure how to stay calm.
Yes, you know, there is this big issue where, in fact, I take workshops on how to have a balancing act of a woman at home and at work. So, my tip, few practical tips, and it 90% works. Before you enter your house, 10 minutes you sit down and just give time to yourself and throw away whatever the stresses at work are. So before stepping in, change yourself and say, this is what I am at home, like a homemaker, whatever your name is, rather than a professional person. Okay, that's
Mm-hmm.
one. Number two, when you're at home, just completely focus at home. So keep your mobiles off or away. So what I mean to say is the screen time, make it minimum as much as you can at home.
Okay.
Now,
Whether
this
it's
what
a
will
mobile,
happen?
whether it's a TV. Okay.
Yes, maybe it could be TV, mobile, it could be computer. Now, what will happen with this is when you have to give that quality time to yourself and to the people in your house, that is taken
Mm-hmm.
away from you,
Okay.
which you are anyways doing at work. So, minute you reach home and say even 10 minutes you look eye to eye and talk to your child, how was your day today, and you know what are things happened, rather than while watching TV you talk,
Mm-hmm.
or even while having meals you're watching TV. So where is that quality time which you miss out on? That itself
Mm-hmm.
creates issues in a house. So
Okay.
work while you work and play while you play, that proverb really works for people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Got your point, doctor. So one more questions before I take the another topic about it. Uh, Shema again, Malti is asking us that will the flower, you have talked about the flower
Yes.
remedy. Will it help me in creating the, managing the anger?
Yes, yes. So actually, there are about 32 flower remedies, and I mix few with the homeopathy medication. So Bach flower remedy works on emotional level, whereas
Mhm,
homeopathy works on all the three levels: mind, body.
mhm,
Um, um, so I combine the two and prescribe to the patient. For
mhm,
temporary effect for anger, you can surely try the remedy that I told you.
mhm.
Take rescue remedy, 10 drops in half cup of water twice a day, and see how you feel with it.
Okay, so the one more thing, like we women normally face the weight issues also. So do you think that stress leads to the weight gain or a weight loss? Because one of our viewer is asking that is weight gain
Yes,
is related to stress?
yes, yes. So, why is and how it is related to stress? Usually, in stress, people they perform or their reactions are similar. So some people,
Mm-hmm.
when they're stressed, they start eating more. Some people, when they're stressed, they get angry more. While some people, when they're stressed, they get irritated. Some people, when they're stressed, they will just suppress and cry and cry and cry. So
Mm-hmm.
90% of the time, our reaction to stress is same. So the
Okay.
people, when they are stressed and they start eating more, that's when
Mm-hmm.
the obesity is caused. Of course, there are a lot of other causes of obesity which we need to rule out before just directly tabbing it as because of stress. uh, there could be maybe some thyroid issues, maybe hypothyroid does cause obesity. There could be lifestyle problem. That's another thing which causes a lot of stress, the lifestyle. So what I mean by lifestyle is, you know you're trying to do too many things at a time, like say you want to cook at home yet party with friends till 2 in the night and yet wake up early for the kids in the morning. So the lifestyle there is stressful. um, the other lifestyle issue is people have stopped eating healthy food. Generally, Swiggy, thank you to Swiggy, it does help us, but it but again, a balancing act is necessary. So if you eat too much unhealthy food, it does
Mm-hmm.
play in your mind, uh, and also on the body. So um, the lifestyle changes, if tapped on and if balanced, it brings a lot of good changes in your life.
So, like, you had talked about the Sugi, so I just want to ask you about that. Does that stress affect the children's too? Because, recently I have read an article that, 12 or 13-year-old girl just took and did a suicide because she was depressed, and parents were not knowing that she was depressed. So, just want to check with you that, does the stress really affect the kids, and from which age the stress keep coming to the kids?
Yes, Ruchita, I'm glad you asked this about children. In fact, I'm seeing, over the years now, so many years, it's been 17, 18 years I'm practicing. And in last 1 year or 2 years, the amount of cases that I'm getting in children, right from the age of 5 to it can continue to whatever age, I would not put them children, then they would become adults and they would come up with lots of stress, peer pressure, and other issues. Um, Now, usually what happens is, the quality time that I was trying to stress on.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, there are three times which I insist on parents, and I take parenting workshops for the
Mm-hmm.
same, where we try and help a lot of parents how to deal with their children. So there are three times usually I would advise the people who are working to be with children. One is when they go to the school. Number two is before they go to sleep. Before they
Okay.
go to sleep and you give this quality time, the lights are off, you're just sitting
Mhm.
beside them. It could be just maybe you're reading a book and they are reading a book, but have a fixed routine before they go to bed, because that's when their mind is kind of empty. They don't have more activities and they want to talk to their parents in case if they're going through something.
Okay, so
So,
it's important that during the bedtime we need to talk to the kid what
yes.
happened all day, and what you did, what's your plan for
Yes, and
tomorrow.
even if you don't talk, and if they know that this is a set routine before going to bed, my mama or papa are going to sit beside me, and we have this bedroom routine of maybe doing prayers or whatever together. But that's the
Mm-hmm.
time they feel connected with the parent in case something is bothering them. See, after all, a
Okay.
child will, if you have a bond with them, they will
Mm.
first come and communicate to a parent that this is my issue. This is what is happening in school or with friends or at too much work or anywhere else. But that a parent has to create that bond with the child, and you do that by being with them. And the third and the most important is, and just telling them, no matter how you are and whatever you are, I love you for what you are. We give them
Okay,
the
just
best
saying
of
this,
materialism.
yeah, yeah, saying this that we trust you and we are there for you will be a much better way of distressing them.
Yes, of breaking the ice and genuinely telling them that even whatever you are naughty, you've not done your homework, you have failed, you've passed, but I'm there for you, so I love you for whatever you are. I just love you for whatever you are.
That's a nice tip, like even for a small baby, like 2 or 3 year old, if you keep on, just give a nice hug in the evening or in the night when they're sleeping and say that, we love you, that goes a long way.
Yes.
I have one question from Radha Gupta. She's saying that my mom is going through menopause issue and we know it's a phase. Just a minute. It's a phase. Somehow managing her at times is stressful, though she feels better after some time handling her. At the moment, it's really stressful. She's already on homeopathic treatment. Can you give us few tips?
Yes, Raghav, I'm glad you are giving her homeopathy. But along with homeopathy, I would advise few counseling sessions too for her. See, during menopause, a woman goes through a lot of hormonal changes, which causes hot flushes, anger, sweating, and they just can't control, especially if their personality is such. We all are born with a certain kind of personality, and these kind of triggers like menopause can make it worse. I would also recommend you to start her online sessions or sessions along with homeopathy. That's one. Number two, a home remedy that I would want to suggest during menopause, the shea seeds, if you soak it overnight or if, even for 4 hours, and give her
Mm-hmm.
with rose syrup, like a rose water,
Mm-hmm.
with the shea seeds, it creates a lot of cooling effect in your body. Number two is
Okay.
flax seeds. Eating about, say, a tablespoon of flax seeds every day helps to take care of the hormonal changes that your mother is going through.
Okay. That's a nice one. I mean, especially because we women have all kind of phases,
Yes,
puberty, then pregnancy, then menopause, and
yes,
so many changes in our body before pregnancy,
yes,
after pregnancy, and other things. So,
yes.
I think homeopathic is a much better way of treating the body compared to allopathic.
Yes. In fact, when you said pregnancy, I do deal with postpartum depression. Again, something which is not being looked after or noticed by a lot of doctors or
Mhm.
even patients. So what happens again post delivery? Your hormones are in a way to go anytime. So either you're too
Yeah.
happy or you're too stressed. But I would plead that any person post delivery, if their happiness or sadness, too much of sadness goes for more than 30-40 days, you must take homeopathy and take the counseling for the same,
Yeah,
because it
because
hampers them
nowadays,
and the child.
I was about to ask you, when the stress and anger, I was about to ask you about, that's why I started about the pregnancy, that, this post-pregnancy depression is now, like, before we never heard about it. But
Yes.
nowadays, like every second person is going through this, post-pregnancy depression. So why it's happening, and can it be curable?
Yes, it is curable. Why it's happening more is because of the lifestyle changes. The support system has reduced. When I mean lifestyle state changes, is this is what too much of extremity in everything. We need to bring in balance. We need to go back to our roots and do yoga and meditation, eat healthy diet, and these nuclear families have come up. So the support
So
system
we
is
don't
less.
have the support of mom-in-laws, or any relatives, when the child is born. Everything has to be done by the
So
mother itself.
postpartum has really, really increased here. Postpartum
Yeah,
depression. Yeah.
so true. So one more questions before we sign off. We have a question again with the anger management.
Okay.
Anger management. She's saying that I have a 10-year-old son, and he keep on shouting and throwing the stuff if we don't fulfill his demand. He's he's too angry. As a whole, he's a nice chap, but if we don't fulfill his demand, he gets angry and he keeps throwing the thing. We have taken to different doctors and things, but it is not helping us. He's not into. He's a 10-year-old, so he doesn't do yoga or any other things. Please
Did you
give us.
mention he's 10 years old?
Yeah.
Okay. See, anger tantrums is another problem. It is
Hmm.
common between the age of 3 to 5. Now, when I say it's common, is because that's when a child's personality just starts developing, and that's the way they learn to communicate. That if I
Hmm.
want a certain toy, you don't give me, I'll sit and cry, be it in the mall or
Okay.
anywhere. Okay. So between three
Hmm.
and five, it happens. It would not be on purpose, I would say, and it can
Okay.
be completely eradicated. By the age after 5, the parents should learn the techniques of inculcating good habits in the children. So by the age of 10, for this child, let me give few tips. Is
Hmm.
children actually are a mirror image of us.
Okay.
um, so in case if there is any stress at home, relationship issues or anger tantrums, then don't do it in front of the child, please, because they literally absorb things the way it is. You can maybe sit down in a room if you have an issue with your husband and sort it out rather than doing in front of the child. That's one.
Okay.
Number two is, if the child is an extreme and doing it on a regular basis, um, I would say try and be firm rather than strict. The difference of being strict is, uh, I will just not give you because you're throwing tantrums. You do whatever you want to. I will throw you out and put it in your bathroom. That's being strict or being angry. When I say firm, say no matter what, this behavior is not done, but I still love you for the way you are. Okay. Now, even if the child doesn't react to this, Ruchita, are you there?
क्या करूं?
Ruchita? Hi. Hi.
Hi, sorry, we got disconnected because of the some network issues. Yeah,
Yeah.
so you were talking about some anger issues and other things, Yatri, regarding that boy for 10-year-old.
Now you're better? Should we?
Yeah,
Okay.
now, yeah.
Um, yeah, so I was telling you about the child who, somebody asked about the anger tantrum for a 10-year-old child.
Mm-hmm,
So I was giving the tips, and the first one which I meant to say is we are the children are mirror image of what we are, and they actually react to what we do in every ways. So be
mm-hmm,
careful in case if any of the parent is short tempered or any relative is short tempered and the child is absorbing or understanding. Please try and avoid
mm-hmm,
it. Even if husband and wife have conflict, I would suggest them to go in a room and have private discussion. Uh, that's
mm-hmm.
one. Number two, whenever a child throws too much tantrum at every thing, um, instead of being too strict, it's necessary to be firm and try and change the habit. So when I
Okay.
and when I say that, I mean to say is if the child is throwing tantrums and throwing things and hitting you, take a
Mm-hmm,
step behind and say firmly, I will not take this kind of behavior. And
mm-hmm,
so, no matter the way you are, I love you the way you are, but I will just not take this behavior. And then the third
mm-hmm.
step to do with it is give them options. So, my option to
Okay.
you is, and give such intelligent options that would, in a way, help them to change. So, the option would be, say, you would say, since you behave this way, either for
Mm-hmm.
5 days you'll not be able to watch screen at all. So, no TV time, no computer
Okay.
time, no mobile time, or you see to it that you sit for half an hour and finish your studies and you don't
So
throw
more like a
tantrums.
punishment, like not a
But
physical punishment which hurts more, because
which
physical
which which
punishment
is
even
a
I.
smart punishment, and which the child,
Mm-hmm.
or something like, say if the child is weak in maths and say, okay, write the tables 20 times, or you have no TV for 5 days, what would you want to
Okay.
choose?
Okay, so it's better that they have to choose one punishment.
But a smart one. And before that, the
Yes.
first two steps too are important, because if you don't if you're too strict, you're not firm, and you become as
Mm-hmm.
angry as the child is, and
Mm-hmm.
you throw the tantrum back, doesn't work, because the child
Mm-hmm.
feel, okay, I'm shouting and mama is shouting, I'm throwing things, mama is throwing things, how are the things going to work?
Yeah, so better we have to create a personality, an ideal personality in front of our children so that they can follow us.
Yes, I always say
Yeah.
parenting is a skill. You have to develop
Mm-hmm.
it. In fact, I take these lovely workshops, and it's such a good response I get. I'm planning to do it online, conducting these parenting workshops for children, how
Mm-hmm.
they can change their habits.
Oh, that's great. Seriously. So Yatri, so please inform us when you are doing the online, workshop, so that
Sure,
even we can enroll ourselves and understand few more parenting tips.
definitely, definitely.
Yeah. So that She Power Network is a group. So whenever you have that online workshop or something, do post it in our group, and we would love to enroll in your online workshops.
Definitely, definitely.
Okay. So thank you so much, Yatri, for giving us your time and solving all the queries of our audience. That was great hosting you here in the She Power Network.
It was my total pleasure, Ruchita. Thank you so much for giving me this
Mhm.
platform, and looking forward for
And
many more such ones.
Yeah, and I would just like to apologize to my audience that, for the 2-3 minutes we just got disconnected because of the internet issues. So I'm sorry for that. And see you all next week. Then, till then, bye bye.
Bye bye.